Okay, part 3 of Top Gun Anthem. We've now gone through the main theme in both keys twice. Gone through that. I wouldn't play it like that, by the way. We've gone through that twice, in C and in F sharp. That's better. Back to C. You get the keyboard interlude and then it comes back, and it's around this time that we get what I term the mystery lick. Now I've seen people say it's two harmonics played at once and then they take the wang bar down. I can only tell you how I hear it and what I think it is, right? And if somebody wants to email me or whatever and say, hey, that's not right, it's this, then that's how we all learn. And we can do that without being sniffy or confrontational. We can do that just by, I think he plays it here. That's the right way to phrase that sentence, I think. And that's how we all learn. That's how it should be, right? So this is how I think he plays it. This is when we go back to the main theme in C, right? So we've got the I think it's that lick, right? Now if you've listened to a lot of Jimi Hendrix, you'll know this technique where he bends the high E and he catches the B string. The real Jimi like that, right? That's what I think Steve does and how he plays that mystery lick. You'll notice there's a big jump, and there's a massive jump coming up during the solo in position, in position terms. One thing I would say for that is you could go and you're in place. And of course, if you've chosen to play it off the D and the G strings, you're up there anyway. So you've got it, right? If you're playing it down here, as I do, you've got that big jump. And the only thing I sometimes move, when you play the E to the D, that bit, which I usually go, I sometimes go like that. And you're in position to do the Jimi Hendrix lick. Right. Now by this time, the theme is getting quite juiced up. It's really on fire the way Steve plays it. So rather than, if you imagine the first time, it's now become there's been a big change in the way it's been played. And as I said in the first video, I think Harold Faltermeyer said to Steve Stevens, play it straight right at the start. And it kind of goes against everything we play, unless you're a very straight fingered kind of jazz player and you don't use that. But the rest of us, I find I over egg the pudding all the time. If I'm playing a melody, every note is like that. So I find that hard. And the very first time you hear the theme in C, I think the last note has got a little bit of straight. You hear that? It's got a little bit of shaking that, right? So at this point, we've played it twice. We've played it, C again, up to F sharp. And it's kind of stuttered out. Back down. know, so it's really building and building and building. We get the second keyboard interlude, and then we go into the chord section that's going to lead us into the guitar solo. So that will be part 4. Be back in 2 seconds.